your lack of faith disturbing.
Enough of this. Vader, release me.
As you wish.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about Mysteries of the Sith and Jedi Knight Remastered. So there is a change that I made to both of them. So I released Mysteries of the Sith a few days ago, and then I actually had to rush and recreate the installer because I forgot some textures, and and then I'd also decided to add a new feature to the installer as well, to the configuration as well. So right here you have both Jedi Knight Remastered 2.0 and Jedi Knight or Mysteries of the Sith 2.0, and so we're gonna go over both of them and the change that I made to both. So basically now, so the one thing, or just what I wanted to talk about, is this new code that I put in here. So let's just go ahead. We'll open the configuration guide and we can read about the change in the code that I made. That makes it a little bit better. So scroll down here. Obviously I added quite a bit to the configuration guide, so definitely read the configuration guide. But right here on Jedi Knight Mysteries of the Sith, we have this new shuddering during game fix. So basically we've had issues in the past where the game would kind of run kind of slow and sluggish on older computers, older hard drives and stuff like that. I don't know about newer computers, so you may not even need this for newer computers. If it runs smoothly on your computer, you don't necessarily need this. So you could technically just I'm pretty sure you can just set this to 0 and you can bypass this code if you prefer to not have this, because the only thing that is kind of sucky about this is that if you have this running and I have this in there by default, if you've downloaded 2.0 or Mysteries of the Sith 2.0, I have this in here by default. So the one thing that kind of sucks about it is that it will load the game a little bit slower. So you probably noticed that when you try to launch the game, that it takes a while to load now. That's just because it has this new thing in here where it's preloading the textures. So by default, without this, the textures are actually loading instantly, like while you're playing the game. So that's why sometimes you kind of get kind of like a sluggish gameplay, and so it's not that great. So this is actually a new feature that is not in the code by default, so I had to try to figure out how to actually get this added in, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that too if you don't. So that's really the only fix that I made with the 2.0. So if you don't really want to download the new version, you don't have to re-download it. You can just add this code to your configuration, and I'll show you how you can do that, how to do that. So let's go ahead and close the configuration guide now, and we'll go ahead and open up the configuration. So for the configuration, we'll do Mysteries of the Sith first. So here we go. We have the configuration here, and here at the end of the string, we added this new string, the VRAM texture preload size. So basically what you're gonna want to do if you want to add this line in is be sure to put a comma here, because obviously if this is the last thing in your configuration guide, you don't have a comma here. You need to I can't stress this enough, without this comma here, it's not going to run right. So you have to put a comma here, and then you can copy and paste this here. So from the configuration guide, you can open up, let's go ahead and open up the Jedi Knight configuration guide to show you that I also added it here too. So if you want to add this in, just copy the text right here, go to your guide, paste it in. Obviously you're going to need to put quotes, I don't know if that's a semicolon or a regular colon, but it has to be this one, that one with the 2 dots, not the one with the dot and the comma. So it has to be the one with the 2 dots. So go ahead and do that, and then you can just put whatever number you feel you need here, but I'm just gonna let you know that you don't need, 1024 is enough for this. You don't need that much for this. It's just preloading the textures, and in all honesty, there's only about 600 megabytes of textures in Jedi Knight Remastered. Now there's a little bit more in Jedi Knight Mysteries of the Sith. So yeah, definitely stick with 1024, should be good. But there is other mods like out there, like that may require a little bit more of a boost. So just be aware of that. You could maybe run into that, but basically that's all you do. And you don't really, if you just want to go ahead and download the installer again, then you don't have to worry about getting this in right, because I didn't include this in the last release because it took me forever to try to figure out actually how to get this in here. Come to find out that I just needed to put a stupid comma up there, literally, and then after that it worked fine. So just be aware of that. So here's the downside though, it's going to take a little bit to load the game. So let's go ahead and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and launch Mysteries of the Sith here. And as you can see, usually the game is already launched by now, but we're still waiting, so we'll see how long it takes. But yeah, just keep in mind though too, like if you increase that number, and you might have to, like if it's still kind of shuttery in your game, you can go ahead and increase that number, because depending on your hardware, you may need to increase the on there. So we'll see. So yeah, I see it's been about, I don't know how long it's been, but it's been a lot longer than usual, that's for sure. So I just wanted people to be aware of this, that it's just going to take a little bit longer to launch the game. I think it's been about a minute or two, a minute and 30 minutes. Or a minute, oh good night, 30 minutes. Not going to be 30 minutes, I don't think. We can time it once we do the Jedi Knight Remastered as well, so we can see how long it actually does take. It is pretty, it does take quite a while, doesn't it? Definitely noticeable that it takes quite a bit of time. And again, if you rather not wait this long to get your game loaded, and let's say before this you actually had a game that ran pretty smoothly and you don't really need that, you can go ahead and just delete that whole string. Or I think you might be able to, yeah, here we go, finally. So yeah, it took about 2 or 3 minutes to load the game. So it's definitely kind of sucks a little bit, but at the end of the day though, let's take a look at this and see Yeah, it's definitely a lot better on my end. I don't know about you guys. It looks actually it's kind of laggy on your guys' end. But on my end, it's definitely running pretty good. And I didn't do the FPS restriction, so that's probably also another thing that you might want to do as well, is the FPS restriction. Because that will actually help out quite a bit as well. Because that's something that I did not do. But anyways, that is pretty darn good. Definitely doesn't look too good on your end. I think it's because I have it... I have the settings. I don't have the settings right for OBS. So that's why it looks all weird on OBS end. But anyways, it's running smooth for me. So that's good. So now let's go ahead and we'll let's do the same thing for oh yeah, let me try this out. Actually, let's do this. Let's go ahead and load up. So yeah, it's configured right for that. Let's go ahead and load up Jedi Master and we'll time how long it takes to load. So the clock says 12:44. So we'll see how long it takes to load. I'm guessing it'll probably be about 15 minutes in, maybe. When it loads finally, we'll see. This one won't take as long, I don't think, because of the fact that it, yeah. Yeah, I think that's my problem. I'm filming at 60 frames per second, and this game just can't handle that. So that's why it's sluggish. I'll have to turn that down to 30 frames per second or whatever, 40 frames or whatever. So yeah, we're at 12:44, so we've gone a whole minute and it still hasn't launched yet. So we'll see what happens. Here we go. 13. So obviously, yeah, I mean, if you can test around with it, if you don't want that to preload, just set it to 0, I think. We're gonna test that out. I don't know if that's actually accurate. Let's go ahead and test it out first. But I'm pretty sure you can probably just set it to 0. But if not, then we can just delete the whole string and then you won't have to deal with waiting for the game to launch. But I feel like, oh, there we go. See, 13:31. So it's only about a couple minutes that you have to wait. So it's not too bad. It's not really that bad at all. I mean, compared to like what you'd have to do, compared to having a slow game, you know, it's a lot better. Yeah. And like I said, my OBS settings are messed up, but for me, it's running really smooth. It's running really good.
You always cause trouble.
Now, so the frame rate limiter, I was thinking that maybe you wouldn't need it because of this new feature, but I think you might still want to have it just in case. But you can test around with it, see what works best with your computer, and then just go from there. So yeah, that's how you guys use that new, and that's what I've added to the new version of the installer. So hold on, let's go ahead, let's test this out. Let's see what we can do here. So let's say that, hey, you know what, I don't think I need it. Let's go ahead and put a 0 in here and save. And then let's see what happens. I don't know what's gonna happen. yeah, so you put 0 in, it eliminates that that preload text. And I'm gonna actually load the game though and see if that made any difference. Oh yeah, I can definitely notice a lot more lag now, for sure, on my end. Unfortunately, I didn't set the settings in OBS to yeah. So yeah, I definitely think that it's worth it to have that preload texture code in there. But if you don't want it in there, just put a 0 there and it'll eliminate that. And you don't have to, and you can play around with the settings, of course. Set it to 0, set it to 500, set it to 2, whatever you want to do. See how it works for you. But yeah. So right now it's not set to anything and it doesn't have the frame rate limiter and all that stuff, so it's a little bit laggy. Still playable though, still playable. But it's definitely recommended to go ahead. Let's go ahead and do that too. Like, let me show you guys what I'm talking about when I say rivet or frame rate limiter. So let's go ahead and get Rivet Tuner. Let's go ahead and turn that bad boy on. So, because of the clunkiness of the engine, even though we have the GFX mod, still have a clunkiness of the engine. So, what we do to eliminate that clunkiness, well, come on, show. Huh. For some reason, it's not opening up. I can't right-click show. Well, anyways, I'm not sure if it's gonna work or not, because I don't know if it's not opening for me. There we go, finally. Good night. Okay, there we go, finally. Alright, so we have it set on that one and that one. Yeah, let me go ahead and do that. I want to test those out, actually. Actually, let's delete that because I've uninstalled it and reinstalled it, so I'm gonna make sure it actually gets it. So let's do that, and then we'll limit the frame rate to 40. And then let's go ahead and turn that on so we can see it in game. So basically this, if you turn this on, it'll show this in the corner. So you can see what frame rate it's at. And then for this one, let's delete. Let's go ahead and add, or let's just test mysteries. We don't have to do both of them. So let's go ahead and open up the configuration guide. Obviously, we're going to need to change this to FOV 100. See, I need to test this one out actually to see if the FOV works. Now, so for the Mysteries of the Sith FOV, there is a little bit of a bug with the FOV with Mysteries of the Sith, unfortunately, where it will crash here and there. So, it is a little bit better, but unfortunately, it's not going to be. It's just gonna crash periodically on you guys. So save when you're using the FOV for Mysteries of the Sith. But I definitely recommend just not using the FOV for Mysteries of the Sith, just because it'll be better off. So we're gonna set that back to 1000. We're gonna test out the FOV just because I want to see if it works. Because I've only tested it out with no FOV with the new code. So let's try the FOV patches and see if it works with them. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it will. So yeah, it's 2023. So let's see how long it takes Mysteries of the Sith to launch with that new code in there. So yeah, that's the only drawback with that, is that it just takes a couple minutes to launch the game. Definitely noticeable for sure. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Change something real quick here, guys. Yeah, that's 2022, so about a minute in. It's 2020 or 2150. So we're almost about 2 minutes in. Still hasn't launched yet. So yeah, it is a pretty slow launch for sure. So you just got to test it out on your system. If it works better without it, then great. You don't have to wait long for the game to start. But if it works better with it, it's it's definitely worth it, because you know, it's just not fun when the game's all shuttery like that and whatnot. But yeah. Yep, we're about 2 minutes in now. So Mysteries of the Sith seems to take a little bit longer than Jedi Knight Remastered. I think that's just because it has more textures to load. It has the Mysteries of the Sith textures, but then it also has a bunch of the Jedi Knight textures as well that has to load up. And so yeah, so it's going to take a little bit longer to load. That's just one of the things that you got to deal with these things. Reaching about 3 minutes now. Should be coming anytime now, though. Okay, never mind. I wasn't technically in the game, so what happened was I was messing around with my OBS. I wasn't actually in the game. Had to click on it for it to start. So it took a little while, but it wasn't as long as that was. So just be aware of that too. If you are doing other things on another monitor, just be sure to fix that. Hey, actually, look at that. It seems to be running a lot smoother on OBS as well now. So that's cool. So I've limited the frame rate to 40. And we have the preload texture code in there. And yes, I have to say, it's running super smooth now. So I think we definitely have winning settings here. Restrict 40 frames per second with Rivet Tuner. And let's crush these guys with this A-Wing. Bye-bye! Oh, man. He flew into that wall. Holy crap. Okay. So yeah, this is awesome. Definitely the combination of the Rivet Tuner and the VRAM texture preloading sequence is pretty awesome, if I do say so myself. Seems to be running really good. Those guys can take care of them. Let's continue on. See if we can play a little bit of this. So yeah, I have kind of a confession to make. I've never actually played through this game, so be fairly warned. Like, actually, I haven't actually tested this fully all the way. I know there's some people that downloaded the mod right away and played all the way through it, so that's pretty cool. And then there's a few people. So the few people said that there was a couple issues, but then it ended up being something on their end, whatever. But definitely let me know. So you guys are kind of doing like a beta test, kind of, because but it should be fine. I think he's dead, guy. But anyways, I think this door's locked. What's in here? Secrets or anything? Nope. So they blew up this area. Why are you keep shooting that guy? He's still shooting that guy. So anyways, where do I go next? So that door's locked. Oh yeah, we go in the store, I think. So yeah, it looks like it's running really good for you guys now. Whoa, that was a little bit of a lag, but can't fix all the lags. Sometimes it'll still lag on you, but definitely a lot better than what it was. It's kind of fun to have the lightsaber in first person. What the heck? Are you guys just hanging out with him? What the heck? Why are you backing away from me for? I'm not the enemy. Oh, there's the officer. Officers have not been upgraded. The rebel officers, anyways. Hopefully in the future we can find a model. I don't know if the Mysteries of the Sith Remastered enhanced version has an updated model for that. But we can see. That'd be pretty cool to find out. We already went in there. Excuse me. Rebel, move. Whoops. Well, he wasn't getting out of the way, though. Dark side. You killed a rebel soldier. Those scout models look awesome. Look at that. Looks so good. Definitely remastered material right there. Okay, yeah, I definitely feel like, yeah, just adding, as you can see up in the corner there, it's restricted to 40 frames per second, the game is, and that's what makes it run a little bit better than what it was. So that's pretty cool. And of course, I'm recording at 60 frames per second, so that's why I think it was having some issues there. Get some shield. So yeah, definitely guys, play through the mod, or play through the game. Make sure everything's working okay. Obviously the first level seems to be alright. Oh, here's the command center. We're at the command center already.
Sir, we've lost control of just about everything. But if you can get to the communications room, you can jam their sensors so they won't know you're coming.
Yeah, we definitely need a new model for them. That'd be cool. Man, I'm almost dead. Gosh dang. One hit, dead. Oh no! Oh gosh, you like blew me up. Okay guys, well that's it. I'm gonna leave it at that. That's how you, that's the new updates, that's the new fixes that I put in place. Download Mysteries of the Sith Remastered. But if you rather just change it yourself, obviously you can just open up the configuration guide and do that. But obviously Mysteries of the Sith though is a completely 2.0, has the updated GFX mod and the updated versions of the texture packs and the enhancement mods. So definitely download that, re-download that one if you have 1.0. As for the as for 2.0 for Jedi Knight Remastered, I just updated the installer the other day, but the only change I made was adding that VSync whatever, or VRAM preload texture thing. So that's the only changes I've made. As you can see, if you click on that, it shows that I updated it on August the 10th, so yesterday. And if you click here, it'll tell you the updates, what I did. So basically, I only just updated the configuration guide to add more features and more fixes for you guys. And then I also added the new code to it, defaulted the code at the 1224. So just be aware that the game will start a little bit slower, but in the end though, it'll be a lot better for you guys. So yeah, definitely use the frame rate limiter, the Rivatuner statistics server. Use that to limit the frame rates to, oh yeah, and we used the FOV mod and it worked. It was running pretty good. Didn't crash on me this time. So, you know, just test it around, figure out the way that it works for your computer, and just test around, read the configuration guide, figure it out, and may the force be with you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And yep, just I'll probably have another video coming out here in the next few days as well, of a huge announcement that we're going to be moving forward with the installations for 3.0. So it's going to be exciting, and I can't wait to have that video for you guys. So we're probably going to have that video probably, I'm thinking maybe Saturday we'll have that video of the big announcement that I have going on. So, but I just wanted to make a quick video here to talk about the small changes that I made to Jedi Knight Remastered 2.0. So thank you guys for tuning in. You don't have to re-download it, obviously. The only thing you need to really do is add this line to your code. However, I do understand that it's a little bit more complicated. Like sometimes it's a little hard to add code to that. So just remember, add the code. Remember, you need to put a comma right here. You need to for sure put a comma right there, because otherwise it will not work. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next video.
I won't fail you again, Lord.
We'll report their report, sir.